The machines have won. This is John Corner signing out.
What are you doing? What are you guys doing? Looking at the lady in red, of course.
Welcome back to the Techness Corner. My name is ゚Tech, your host. Since you're here, you might as well hit that like button and subscribe. We've got another episode lined up for you. Episode 4 of PC Master Race FB Marketplace ? So again, there's some lined up items which are a little controversial, some gems that perhaps should be bought up sooner rather than later, and probably already have, frankly, from me diddly-daddling. I don't have the opportunity to frolic in the marketplace per se this week because I don't have the funds available. But at the same time, if I was, this is what I'd be looking for. This is how I'd be going about it. These are the prices I'd be seeking. And this is my aim here today in PC Master Race FB Marketplace, is to educate you all so that you are better equipped with knowledge and know-how and know what to look out for and when the price is right, and to execute on that rather than get someone else sniping the sale from under your feet. So without a moment's more diddly-daddling, because that's the catchphrase of today, let us get started. Just one more thing before we get started, just a word from our sponsors. So let's go, people, and let's get stuck right on in.
Welcome. Just a friendly reminder that Bottom Bash 2020 is about to be executed. Get ready to hit your enter keys 1, 2, 3. Coming this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Further information, please hit the FB Robbi Tek website. It's our official sister site, available on FBook. And yeah, hope to see you there, guys. Let's go. Land 2021. Land the fuck away. And here we go.
So welcome back, y'all. My name is ゚Tech. As mentioned previous, please hit the like and or subscribe button. If you've stayed this long, you may as well come around and drop in again some other time. So essentially, PC Master Race in the FB Marketplace. This is episode 4 of the 2021 series, and it's not only a tour of current items up for sale that make up or may take an interest to a system builder, but bargain hunting as well as deal making and an analysis of parts and prices, be that a good laugh or roasting on the other hand, as I myself try to purge the sacrilegious acts taken by some of FB Marketplace in the name of the PC Master Race, people. So come on, let's go. So essentially, I've got some preloaded stuff, but we are going to be freeballing it if we see any items. Alrighty, so that leads us to the next agenda, and that's ergonomics here, people. And if you're going to be sitting at the desk like I am, you can see that this chair is not doing me as much back support as I would need realistically. To be honest, I'm grateful I've got this chair to begin with, but this is the embodiment of what the pinnacle of a chair is, frankly. $15.95 in stock. It's used like new. Number one amazing Herman Miller embody chair, new seat fitted pinnacle of ergonomic chairs. And I believe the $15.95 figure, from my understanding, like these are molded. These actually have a 12-year warranty from what I understand. And if we have a look, $15.95 is actually the price of them, from my understanding, new Herman Miller M body with arms, all graphite black, new mesh seat fitted, one only cash payment. He's got heaps of other chairs. Inspection on pickup, welcome, North Melbourne, low cost delivery and or free delivery from North Melbourne along Eastern Freeway. The body is a high in demand ultra low supply chair, will not respond. Look, it's a low supply chair because it is literally the most expensive office chair you can get, and by that I don't mean it's by no means the most expensive, but it's one of the most expensive. It looks a bit worn and tattered on this backside there, which is a bit worrisome. See here, you got these sort of scuff marks and stretch marks, so that's a little worrisome. But the problem is, unfortunately, there's no warranty associated with it. Now, if we go to Herman Miller real quickly, I'm curious as to how much they retail for in Australia, because I believe that's the new price in Canadian dollars. Okay, so $1,900. I can get it for $1,900. And body chair graphite, buy now, pay later, interest free. This is from just the first place I looked at. Product details, it should have the fact that it's got that 10 to 12 year warranty attached to it. And what does that change the price to? $1,900. So he's selling it for $1,600 second hand without the warranty attached of 12 years. So that's something to consider. For an extra $300, a 12-year warranty on a chair is massive. So, but $300 saving, if it's got a 12-year warranty, it shouldn't stuff up. The fact that it's got a new chair on it is worrisome, because these are rated to someone who's approximately 115 kilograms from my understanding, and they don't go back as far as you think they would go back. But that's, ergonomically speaking, who the hell needs to lie down in their chair? I would consider it. I've got some other options in mind myself, which I'm considering getting. I was thinking, obviously Secret Lab chairs, and I've been wanting to get a Secret Lab chair ever since they were $400. Now they're $600, $700, $800. There was a showroom in Melbourne. Now they're coming from like all around Australia, / you can't actually go into the showroom in Melbourne anymore and have a look at them. I would have gone for something a little bit more generic, that's like the material based one. But for the price, and considering the price of it now, I have to think realistically, and that's why this product catches my eye. Okay, guys? So this product, on the other hand, is an ergonomical chair as well. I don't know what the warranty attached to it, but it's sort of modern finish / sleek with the right sort of accents that are needed for comfort and all day sort of working on. Comes in different finishes as well. It can come in leather for an extra few quid, and this is my secret, you know, like if I have managed to have an extra $150 every fortnight available, then I'm getting one of these from Temple & Webster. I mean, definitely an upgrade from your bucket seats. That, on the other hand, doesn't look too bad as well. So moving on from the Herman Miller, that leads us to look, the fact is that it's the PC Master Race in the FB marketplace, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a complete roast today or anything. We might actually stumble on some really good items, and a lovely lady called Jessica, who's around the Chatston area, has got a piece of wood for sale. Now, look, I'm not taking the piss. It's a piece of wood, not for sale, but it's free. It's got some holes in it, but if you know what you're doing, you can scuff it up, and that could be on the back side, and you can flip it over, and you can, you know, fill those gaps and whatnot. But if you look at the wood, it's a very nice piece of wood, which could make a nice desk. Now, clear as day, she's doing that for free pickup wood piece, but at the same time, it turns out that she's got the legs to the wood piece as well. So I don't understand why she just doesn't put it out together. Keeping that in mind, I would seriously consider because I've got over here a temporary desk that I put wheels on, but I look for something that's more a showpiece that I can sit behind and also do build videos and whatnot. I'm always looking for an upgrade. I'd probably then give this one away for free. Probably something that I myself will not end up capitalizing on. She's in Chadston, and you can pick this up from Jessica. So let's go with Jessica. She deserves some stars. That leads us into, and that's some graphics cards, people. Now, I apologize, I am warming up. By warming up, I mean I haven't done one of these episodes in 4 to 6 months. So we're continuing on, and we're going to soldier through like it's my first episode I've ever created. So I apologize for the ums, and buts, but let's get into it. So here we've got an Asus Strix 1080 8GB, 1080, not the TI variant. Asus Strix 1080 8GB, doesn't come with original box, card in working condition, willing to drop off if you're close to CBD. For $800, you'd be willing to drop off anywhere in the surrounding 30-kilometer range, you'd think. Considering that is not even the TI, like just with inflated prices, look at all that gunk, guys. Working condition, $800. Do you see that? Control plus that. We're as far in as we can go. Look at all that gunk coming through there. If for $800 you're selling something that you get an Asus Strix 1080 Ti for $800 nowadays. If you're unlucky, if you're good, you'll probably get it for about $600. $800 if he's asking that much. He needs a $15 can of whoop-ass air to get it through there and just give it a bit of a spruiking, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's got some other computer parts. I'm sure because of this, he'll need that rest of that can of air for his next card eventually in the next 3 or 4 months, because that's how long it probably takes for it to get that fucking filthy in his establishment. The way he's been running it, but who the hell knows? He's around the central business district. This is Fan joined Facebook back in 2014, so we'll suss Fan out, but we won't suss him out too much, because on the other hand, you can get an RX 6600 for $800, selling 2 times AMD RX 600s. I'm guessing it's 6600, and to be realistically speaking, these will match those in performance. And you have to remember that, putting aside RTX, 1080 is a GTX card, so it has no RTX relevance to begin with. So this RX 6600's got stronger RTX potential than that GTX card frankly does. On the other hand, DSLR versus AMD's, you know that the RX 6600 is a 1080p card. It doesn't mean it can't hit some markers on 1440p and beyond. It's just more settled in the 1080p genre when people are used to 120 to 144 frames, and that's what they're looking for. So when you look at a 4K card, if it's not hitting 120 frames, 144 frames, that's why they constitute it as not being a 4K card, when truly speaking 60 frames is ample in 4K, frankly, depending on how you're playing, depending on what game it is. If we're all playing esports in 4K gaming, then that'd be another story. We want frames, and we'd push for innovation to occur a lot quicker, where we'd get 8K monitors and 4K would become the standard. So for $800, it's rivaling that. I'd have to debate both, and I'll tell you why I'll debate both. I'm just going to quickly see an RX 6600, how quickly I can get one in stock new, and how much they are going for. Okay, so we've got an AMD Radeon RX 6600. He's got the Radeon MSI variant, $929 new. So that's how much I can pick one up for today. Is it in stock? Free shipping, stock availability. It's sold out, unfortunately. But $929 is the advertised price. Let's try one more other store, just in the locales. So you can get the XT Mech, pre-order that for $799. So no ETA on some of these. Have we got any in stock? Correction, in the locales at the very least, they are out of stock. So if you want one today, you're going to have to go and speak to Ankit Chandra Hari, who's selling 2 of them, which have been used and abused for $800. On the other hand, if you have a little bit of patience, you can pre-order them for $7.99. And that's completely new with a 2 to 3 year warranty attached to them from AMD, from the computer shop. So that's something to consider, guys, as we continue on. But it is probably a step up now from that 1080, that's a non-TI variant, because that's GDDR5 RAM as opposed to 5X RAM, which is what the TI variant is, I believe. And then on the other hand, for $850 in stock, we've got the 1080 Ti Founders Edition. Founders Edition, people. Now, this is a gorgeous looking card. Unfortunately, it is a blower style, so it's not going to appeal to many people. But for my purposes, for the purposes of having what is essentially iconic and pinnacle, I wish I had a spare $750 or $700, because that's what I like to buy that card for. Blower style cooler isn't as strong as, say, your Asus cooler on the other hand, but that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at something 10 years down the track, which I can revisit and look at, which will be completely worth jack shit. It'll be worth $50 instead of $10, but I just wish I could get my hands on one of these. I'm still gutted, people, because I had $1,149 set aside for a Founders Edition 3080 Ti, 3080, I beg your pardon, when it was meant to arrive in Australia, and 1,000 units arrived and they got auctioned off. And yeah, supposedly, you know, that's what's going on around the world. Oh, I hate to be a guinea pig for the rest of the world, frankly. Supposedly, the story goes that only 20,000 of those cards got released, the Founders Edition ones, worldwide to begin with. And somehow every single streamer and or YouTube presenter got their hands on one of them. And there's probably about 20,000 of those to begin with. So I was really gutted because I didn't realize what was going to happen. And as we all know, if you don't know, then there's in the links in the description below, you should find yourself with a link to my GPU analysis video, which is in unison with Greg Salazar. And we do contradict each other, but it's a comprehensive roundup of exactly what the is going on with GPU prices today, and you can look at it comprehensively. It's still relevant. It is about 5 or 6 months old, that video now, but it has plenty of relevancy for beginners to have a understanding of the market and how it's actually structured and what's been going on in the last, say, set period of time, before you then can go back to some of Greg's newer videos, which are really well done. I have to admit, his analysis videos in recent times, from dating past that video that was dated by myself and when it was released, have drastically improved his roundup and his ability of analyzing the market. Still some little quirks that I would prefer him to omit from his videos. You know, eBay isn't always the most trustworthy source, although it depends where you're at and depends where you're living at, because realistically speaking, we go to places like Marketplace, Craigslist, you go to places like Gumtree, you go to places like anything that's not eBay, because eBay's generally got a 10% slap on the price of things, plus postage is through the roof, plus, you know, people are generally, you can find a good bargain. But when it comes to these sort of items, those places are where you go, and those places are where the bargains are had 80% of the time, frankly. You just have to know what you're doing. And the point about these type of videos that I'm producing here is it starts to paint a larger picture for you all, depending on, you know, even if I'm roasting the hell out of people, and we'll see how we go regarding some of the system builds that we're going to get up to sooner rather than later. Understand that I'm trying to empower you as well. So, you know, I'll tell you what to get, what not to get. And as we continue on, for example, we got an MSI Z87 G45 gaming motherboard, 4 parts, not working, $30. So people are selling e-waste now. E-waste, people, they are selling it. Great price. Great. The fact is, I wish some of these general motherboards actually were of this condition. These guys gone to a lot of effort to try sell this, because look, for sale gaming motherboard that is for parts not working. It stopped booting around a month ago, and the CPU, PSU, RAM was tested to be fine. So there could be a short circuit at any point going to, say, the CPU and that. He's saying it's not booting. So does that mean, does the board get power here, or is it from this section here? Is it the CPU itself? And that socket, its section, the VRMs have blown, you know, there's or is there no power from this side onwards, you know what I mean, from the 26 pin or the 24 pin, depending on what you want to call it and from what era you're from. This was listed 9 weeks ago, and that is the reason why I was listed 9 weeks ago and up for sale. This, I will bundle up a shitload of parts which I know aren't going to sell, and I just give them away, because some people would like to take these apart and learn how to solder and whatnot, you know what I mean? That's something I'd like to do with some of these componentry, is get a couple of these parts, like desolder them and stuff. They're completely useless unless you're really skilled to be able to reuse those parts to resolder, because generally speaking, these transistors and capacitors, they've got these lines which they're not going to have anymore. They're just going to be little pinkettes there. So you can buy it off him for $10-15, and you can sell it for $80 if you want, you know, and lie to someone and say it works. At least it's not lying, you know what I mean? But shit, man, things are tight for some people, and things are tight for me, but I wouldn't sell a non-working motherboard to anyone. Graphics card that was also I believe a 1080 non-TI variant for $350 for parts. $350 for parts. No explanation of what's wrong with it. So go figure. You might be able to get it working. You might not if you're savvy in that kind of thing. But you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Pardon the blasphemy. So let's get a bit more serious. Acer desktop PCs, i3s, 550s, 2 GB RAM, 320 GB HDDs, $30 each. No accessories included, no Windows installed. Pick up from our warehouse at Oakley South. Okay, so you're going to need 4 GB of RAM to run Windows, at least 8 GB realistically. If you can get your hands on 8 GB of RAM, and if these boards can take them, then 320 GB and an i3 550 will surf the means for, pardon the pun, surfing the internet for you all and getting some jobs if you need to look for jobs and stuff like that. $30 plus an extra, you know, 40, 70 bucks, and then top it all off with a good old paint job. You got yourself $100 and you got yourself a surfing machine. But realistically speaking, the i3 550 is a bit low. It's, I believe, 2 cores, 4 threads. There it is right there. 1 stick of 2 GB of DDR3, 3 empty slots, so that each board does have 4 slots. That's a good thing. Windows wise, it looks like it might have the Windows keys on the side there. They might not be installed, but you might be able to get away with a free upgrade if you're savvy enough. That's something to consider. See how you can see that right there? That's something to look for, where when it comes to these office PCs, they might have retail licenses attached to them. Windows 7, you're going to have to upgrade it from Windows 7 to Windows 10 to Windows 11, but you may get that free upgrade path that's open still, providing that the key's legit. Do you get me? So that's something to look out for, and you can backdate it to Windows 7 secretly enough. I believe is still the case. Windows 8, definitely no troubles, but it's something to look out for, people. So let's move on to the next. Let's not spend too much time diddle-daddling. So let's continue on. Razer Viper Ultimate Wireless Quartz Raising Gaming House. Now, I've been getting out of my peripherals. This guy had it for $180 and he's dropped it to $160. I'm just curious. I'm curious as to how much they cost new at the moment, and at the moment these will go from a reputable shop for $249, but I'm seeing Amazon's got something similar for $130. Okay, so I've mistaken myself. I'm on Amazon, and you've got a Razer Viper Ultra Lite, but it's the corded version. Okay, so it's going to cost you about $249 new. Now he's selling because he prefers weighted gaming mouse, so he's made a problem and an error. We might be able to trust him. Presented very, very neatly and well. Viper Ultimate. You got to give him the benefit, or her for that matter. Let's check out Cheryl's profile and see what else she's got available for sale. She's got a few things. She's got a nice. She loves pink, and so do I. I don't mind pink as well. You can see my room, it's a little bit purple at the moment, not pink, so I apologize for the fact that it's not as pink can be, because generally speaking, I'm still getting used to this new camera, and it's by all means not set up. I'm probably set it up in a fashionably speaking that I'll have a slight bokeh effect attached to it when I manage to get around to fixing the lens and that, but in the meantime it's doing a hell of a good job. So that's decent for peripheral, but it's a peripheral jump, so you're gonna know this is what you're after, you know what I mean? And I think the Logitech's gaming wise were something to consider regarding lightweight mice. Ain't all frills and bells and whistles, but just do the job right. Although they used to, if she was after a weighted gaming mouse, I would suggest to her, if you're after weighted, so you're after a weighted gaming mouse, what I would suggest for fun, I've got my Microsoft wireless mouse with big dongle, people, big dongle. I shit you not, have a look at that. Look at the size of the dongle. I don't know what the hell was going on with Microsoft back then, but I couldn't let that go without a fight, because I need the money for funding other PC parts, otherwise I would be keeping them. Again, a staple from the era in the time that people say Logitech used to make good shit is your Logitech G9X cult classic mouse. Now if you have a closer look, okay, G9X, it's got weights. That's a weighted mouse. So this lovely lady, she prefers a weighted gaming mouse. That's what she's after. She's looking for one of those, okay? Also, they were hardware based regarding the sensors. They had 3 set sensors that you could play with, and they were a different type of mouse back in the day. It wasn't like as much flinging as well. Do you get me? So if you're that type of player that doesn't like all of that movement, and also like something that's got a bit of weight that might help you with, you know, precision sort of stuff, then one of those is still really, really good, surprisingly. So here I missed out because I can't drive down to South Yarra. It's too far. I just wanted to pick up this IBM, but I would have liked to have gotten this PS2 mouse. And the only reason I say that is because, so this is why I sort of was looking at that, was because, have a look over here, I'm going to do a video sooner rather than later. Obviously have the new school mice as well associated. I did have a Naga which I would have used. I did have a Def Adder which I would have used, which unfortunately I had to sell or passed on for free, but we still got the Logitech G9s. We got the Microsoft wireless mouse here. We got a old compact with the rolling ball. We've got a HP here with the rolling ball, so the mechanical ball itself, which is just amazing when you think about it, the way they used to be made. And I was going to do a video on the history of mice per se, as opposed to something like what, say, David does Tech, where he just grabs some random peripherals and got 500k views for just randomized shit that they do, and they review 1 or 2 of them. I was going to do like the history of mice and how they've progressed, you know, and changed essentially, you know, to something like what you see in the box here and here. Like, so that's this is a MX Master 3S, I believe, and this is an MX Master 2S, and this is an MX Master 3, I believe. So this one has got a faulty Bluetooth, but it can be connected by a dongle and still works. Unfortunately, I don't utilize it anymore, but I might, because of the fact that this one itself allows me to use the MX keys, and I don't even need this keyboard over here. I've just got it there for the hell of it. So for example, if we go over here and you have a look at the dongle in the bottom right corner, this is one computer, this is another computer, and I can go from one to the other using one mouse. Now that's something which, if you have a look at one of my other videos, the MX Master and all the Logitech MX keys unboxing and reviews and comprehensive overviews, I haven't yet done the video that follows up that discusses the Flow, Logitech Flow, and how effective the software is. It's really good proprietary software that's been attached to these mice and keyboards, which literally, pardon the pun, increase your flow. So it's something, you know, you guys need to give it a go if you're over those mechanical keyboards. So welcome all. Hopefully the audio is sounding clear as day for you all. I've got the lights on today. I I don't know what's going on with the camera. It's a new camera. I'm trying to play around with the settings, and I either make it a lot worse or a lot better, but I can never get it at that sweet spot. So it's a learning process for me. And check out on Techness Corner, I've got a little short on the camera per se when I got it, and just a little bits of what's going on and update on my rig regarding it and per se, and my streaming setup. But the lights are all on, so you can see Mr. Luigi in the background ever so slightly. But what are we here for? To cut a long story short, episode 4 of PC Master Race FB Marketplace. So welcome back, y'all, and let's get stuck right on in. So it's been a long ass day, and I've been scouring the marketplace in search of anyone that resembles the PC Master Race, passing off a steal, a deal, a something or other. Like here we got $1,800 non-LHR GeForce RTX 3070 dual OC 8GB GDDR6 3070 $1,800. Shit. So I don't want to get nitty gritty and get all hell bent into what is the GPU price market today. We're going to touch on a couple today, which are prime examples. But as we scroll through, we've finally got a system for sale with a 3060 Ti gaming PC, Intel i5 10400F. That 10400F is baseline i5. With the 3060, that's what's beefing up the price. Ti at the very least. It looks nice, it looks clean, it's competitive. A little, that CPU has to be just that CPU has to be just that little bit stronger, frankly. But we're not going to cut a long story short. Let's get stuck right on in. So the first thing on the agenda, we've got a Darth Vader, guys. Darth Vader, and we all know what that means. I ain't into Star Wars or Star Trek politics, but to come back straight to it, $10 was 40 in stock. Grab it. 1 meter tall. I just realized it's 1 meter tall, guys. Arms move. It's 1 meter tall. Oh my god. Please grab it. If it was Freddy Krueger or Chucky, I wouldn't grab it because I wouldn't want it even in my closet, you know what I mean? But this is cool, man. I'm gonna send a hey Drew, evening mate, still available by chance? Would like to lock it in. Thanks, Seb. So we'll send that off to Drew, and we'll continue on our merry cruise, ready to hit the club with our hip hopster buzz. So Thermaltake 430 watt power supply. They were selling it for $45. It's about $40, $35, probably $35, $30 realistically. Anything lower is not going to be worth it. We're not going to comment on it much further, except it's a base model. It'll get you started if you've got some sort of office PC. New school graphics cards, no way will it power that. But something old school, something that doesn't, but at the same time, an old school CPU of that era could be an i7 950, and that they can use 120, 130 watts themselves. So you have to look at the 5-volt rail as well as a 12-volt rail, 12-volt rail specifically, and what it will power and how much power it has. You're meant to put up pending. So I just got a response back from the Darth Vader gentleman. It's sold, guys. So that means we have to move on. And we've got a couple of SSDs, reasonable for one, $20, for two, $30. And again, they're not specified as to what sort of SSDs. We've got a 128GB Kingston here. $20, I guess. Borderline, baseline, you'd probably buy that from the shops for around that price. And a new one, that's, by the way, that's an 8mm one. It's not those 7mm thinner ones. It's a thick boy. And what that is that doesn't look like an SSD to me, frankly. It looks like a mechanical old school laptop drive. But this is Musty Sahib. Oh, the cat lover. Musty Rusty, he needs an encore. Musty Rusty featured, I believe, in our first episode, I believe. In fact, he's an extract of Musty Rusty and his shenanigans online.
If you stop hassling me, I just told you I'm busy for like till 12 or something. Jesus, I hate it when people interrupt my mood, people, and it just makes me... So, I don't know the specs and it's 4 parts. What does that mean? Yeah, but how I know... I don't know how to speak English now. Know what I come by, Musty. So we're going to give Musty a little bit more time because he's clearly too busy to double check his sales. If you look at all this stuff, he's got bikes, no harm in that, $80, $25. They're a bit of a rip on the marketplace. If you have a look at it, if you have a look over here, see all that rust, just chuck some WD-40 or that multi-purpose spray that you might have around your area and just lube it up a little bit. Just please lube it up. Give it a bit of a shine on the wheels with a wet cloth. That's what you have to do, bro. And you know what I mean? And you never know, you might be able to get that $80 for it. But you know, I'll probably pump up that tire a little bit as well. It looks aggressive as. What I do is I go to the Harpy. Harpies are known in Australia for being class. That's why he's reduced the price from 50 to 25. But take those handles and put it on that other bike and just make it look riptastic. Guess what? Look, you get a free knife with the bike as well. Free knife, guys. Free knife with Musty here. So we can see the type of character we got going on here. He's definitely a hustler. I don't know what that knife's doing there in the photo. I apologize. I don't technically think he's double checked his shit, frankly, because he doesn't know the specs, the Harpy stuff. This is, I'll tell you what, PC parts. He's got this graphics card and PC parts. He wants $50. He's got here 1 terabyte drive. Who knows if that works or come alive. He's got here 775 socketed motherboard that's ready to rock and roll with. And then he's got some, you know, and I don't know if that's $50 for the lot, make an offer. In general, he's joined in 2019 as well. He's a cat man, by the way. But I'm shocked. I'm shitty. Now that you guys got a clearer picture of Musty Rusty, that's why we call him Rusty Musty. You know, he's a go-getter though. He joined Facebook back in 2019. I'm curious as to what else is he selling. So that is Western Digital Enterprise Storage. Finally, he's got him. Where's he got him out of it? Is a question, because based upon Musty's history, he's an interesting fella. He didn't want to budge when I was trying to get a GDX of him at one stage. Let's check what Drew said. He does look great in a living room. I will let you know. Thanks, mate. I'm a crappy streamer with a bare wall behind me. Just a perfect resting place for him. Cross my fingers. All right, so okay, so Musty Rusty. Look, I would probably buy for about $20. I'll grab both of those. Realistically speaking, no more. In this day and age. Okay, moving on to something a little bit more substantial. We've got ourselves an 870 Evo 1 terabyte Samsung, and look, just because it's a Samsung name, you can't keep throwing money at it, people. I like the fact that they're all blacked out and nice and all that. Look, Samsung SSD 870 Evo 1 terabyte, nearly new with invoice and warranty. Okay, nearly new Samsung. Why is he selling it? I bought it from Centacom on the 12th of the 6th. It is in warranty. I prefer M2 NVMe disk, so I don't need this SSD anymore. Really? Like, just wouldn't you keep it? That's a really bad reason. Like, you know what I mean? Unless he really needs the money to buy an NVMe. The problem is these new wouldn't cost more than $180. You can get a Western Digital, for example. One moment, please. So I recently, if you had a look at the running stream or the rehash stream that I did of the upgrade process of my PC, or X217 to be precise, to my right over here, if you look at the bottom camera, then you would be aware
that if you can forgive the Western Digital blue, then these are going for 1 terabyte, $149 at the moment. And if we go back to this 870 Evo, this is a 1 terabyte. You'll struggle. You're paying for the Samsung name. The problem is Samsung has dropped the ball ever so slightly with their newer generation SSDs. Frankly, these will tank at around these are missing the NAND flash they used to have, and this is something that you want to look for, that the 860 Evos had. The 870 Evos don't have the NAND flash anymore, and because of that, they're tanking, they're not caching as well the transfers. As a result, you've got a set amount limit before the speeds will drop on large file transfers. It's something to consider, especially as we move on to the 970 Evo Plus, people. Again, 970 Evo Plus NVMe M2 SSD 1 terabyte 160. I would suggest this is a Gen 3 drive. On the other hand, even though it's the 970 SSD, the previous one that we had, this is actually a Gen 3, not Gen 4. I would suggest to that gentleman that he was pick this up or do a trade or a swap if he could. But again, this drive, $189 tops new. And on special, because it's Gen 3, you can get yourself Gen 4 drives for that price nowadays. It's something to consider that, again, a new unused drive, bought more than I needed. Seal has been broken. However, the drive has never been used or removed from the packaging. It's very easy to do a test and to double check if it's ever been used, especially on these drives. For example, these drives have a record where you can use Crystal Disk Mark Info as a program, which is open source or free. If you guys are interested, unfortunately, you'll find this out after the fact. But if he's a good seller, then he's a good seller and he's being legitimate. You'd want to talk him down to, if you talk him down to like 120, it'd be a definite. If you're otherwise anywhere in between, you have to take that risk, don't you? Because there's a set amount of lifespan in these. If he's bought one too many and he's had it for a period of time, these only have a certain amount of warranty associated with them. And unless you can go through the store, you're going to struggle to run back and forth through Samsung itself, dealing with them exclusively in that regards as well. So it's something to consider. So price wise, if the marketplace is acting up like it has been, and people are intentionally putting inflated prices up because they think people are going to haggle with them, this is what I hate. I put fair prices up that I think you should buy, and I still have people who want to lowball me, and I hate that. I despise that. I don't get why people can't just put a normal price up there. It's like, because everyone else is getting more. But do you think you're going to get more, or do you think you're going to get haggled and you're going to come down? If you're going to get haggled and everyone's doing that, why don't you put it on the lower price and get your shit sold straight away, instead of dealing with in competition everyone else's potential haggling mistakes? You know what I mean? So let us move on, because hopefully my mood won't get any more sour. But with GPUs coming up, who the knows? Okay, on a side note, we got a gaming PC case, $50. $50 case is always great, second hand. You get something similar for $50, $60 new, with an acrylic / glass side panel case that may or may not have good ventilation, that may or may not have a couple of fans in it, depending on the quality of the fans. For about $50, $60 nowadays, if you're vigilant, you can easily get something. So you have to consider what you're buying secondhand for $50. Good condition, missing a thumb screw. They can be bought cheaply. Has a RGB fan and RGB strip at the front. It's a micro ATX or a mini ITX case, pickup Mentone. Poor ventilation. Look, you can get something like this for $50 anyway, new. So I would move on, and I'll tell you why. Because next we've got a Thermaltake PC case, $50. Yes, it's available. Selling my PC case due to upgrade. Pick up Wyndham Vale. And Thermaltake again, poor ventilation. This one's got a Thermaltake fan there at least. Maybe, you know, these will clog up with dust on the sides there if you've got all the fans. You're going to need 3 intake, really strong static pulling fans in some way, shape or form. Look, $50, again, you want to talk him down to 30 or 40. And that's because, for example, you got an NZXT case, white mid-tower PC case for $50 here. So unless it's missing something, it's much more classy. It was the 2020, 2019, or 2019, I'd say, award winner in that regards. That iconic strip down the side there that was different colored. If you can get the right fans for this, okay, USB 3.0 as opposed to no. On the other cases, much more classy, I'd have to admit. It's got a Cooler Master fan. So the NZXT fans have been taken out. Includes plastic side panel and a Cooler Master RGB fan. Missing PSU bracket as seen in pictures, but can be purchased online. Features front and bottom removable magnetic dust filters. Price and negotiable, pick up now warrant. So you can talk him down. Unfortunately, he's missing a few things which make up the case. And if you can buy like PSU bracket, you can't necessarily buy it online separately by itself like that. You need to sort of have to buy this whole, the whole 9 yard shenanigan that surrounds that, you know what I mean? So that's something to consider if you want a fuller case. But at the back side, if you're just going from a front view, it may do. And if you drop him, if it's negotiable to 40 or 35 as well, then it's definitely competing with the other two cases that we've got in the mix based on market value alone. Okay, so that's something you have to consider. These were about $100, $120, $130, $140 when they were new, so that's something to look up. So then moving on from there, okay, so that takes us into something a little bit more cemented that we might be able to pick up some parts. $50 each, take all for $300. $50 each, all password locked. All password locked, selling as parts only. All boot up to login screen except one. Monitors also available, $15 each. Pick up Caram Downs. Interesting. I actually like the looks of this MG case here for some odd reason. I don't know why. It just looks like interesting to me. There's nothing definitive that's telling me what it is. I need to see a better picture. If we zoom in on it, these are Pentium 3s or Quad or Centrinos or something like that. There's a Dell there. There's a chance that one of these I'd maybe grab one for 50, but I would quickly open up each one of these and double check and find out what's going on. All password locked. Locked to what? Windows. Which Windows version is the question. And password lock, generally speaking, to a person isn't a difficult thing to bypass, and or you can always reset, but at least they've all got storage devices, all except for potentially one. So that's something to consider. And also, what sort of storage devices will they have? Okay, so $50 each is a stretch. I would be interested to just have a quick gander, and unfortunately there's not any more information from this gentleman who is in around Caram Downs. We can find out if he's fishing by hiding potentially other items by seeing what else he's selling. And if we have a look at his other items, marketplace listings, he's got 100 plus listings. Jesus Christ. He has to be selling in other groups or something. But let's see his electronics items. He ain't got many. Oh look, he's got $40 for all 7 keyboards. So here's the keyboard man that we saw before. So peripheral wise, you're set up. They're all Lenovo. There's one HP over here. There's a Microsoft one that might be interesting. There's another HP there. Interesting, not really worth. They're worth about $5 to $10 each if they're in pristine condition at the moment, realistically speaking. Maybe that Microsoft one a little better if it works, but yeah, like I give these away for free with additional items that I sell, and when I had them up until a set point, and by a set point I mean they start to resemble like your Apple Pro, completely refurbished by myself keyboard there. You have 2 USBs on both sides, so that's really cool. For example, this one needs a bit of TLC, but it's a PS2 connector. So something like that with your media player and everything. So it's something to consider. And then you're looking at something along the lines of even this compact, because it's compact to an nth degree, PS2 era. Okay, and I've got a couple of others like that, just a little bit less run of the mill, like those Lenovo's are. I'd grab one of those Lenovo's, okay, for like $3 to $5 if you, maybe he'd even give it to me if he was around the corner, you know what I mean? So yeah, so we'll move on. If you need a peripheral, guys, don't feel ashamed, as long as it works, depending on what you're using. Yes, mechanical keyboards are all the rage. We'll get into mechanical keyboards and whatnot, but you have to be realistic. If you have to cut corners to get that PC happening in some way, shape or form, those peripherals will come with a couple of weeks of set aside kitty rather than the bulk amount that you need to get that PC. So get that PC cemented. And when people talk about the fact that it's now a time, not the time to buy a PC and shit, you know the truth is, the time is right when you need to buy a PC. If you need that PC, buy it now, because Moore's laws ain't there. There's something new around the fucking corner, around the thread. But the point is, down that thread, it's just going to cost more. Prices will fluctuate. Pardon, I'm actually selling a capture card, which I'm reluctantly selling, but I have to fund my endeavors, don't I? So I just got interrupted. Reluctant sale, people, on a Avira Media Live Gamer capture card. I have upgraded my stream setup since then, and I've got a Avira Media, surprisingly, Live Gamer Duo. Nothing special, just an additional port on it. I was hoping that one day I'd have a partner in crime that needed to get set up and I could set him up in a jiffy, but that money was much more important. As you heard that crack just then, my chair is, even though extremely valuable to me currently, on its way out and needs replacing. So we are trying to secure enough funds to pay in installments, and I think we've just secured enough through some gift card mitigation as well for a specific store. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to show it off until I show it off, and then I'll maybe do a review on it. How about them apples? So look forward to that review, which will be coming in the next, realistically speaking, if all goes well, 2 to 4 weeks. The way dreaded viral infection is going currently. Frankly, that's airborne and whatnot, and causing also a lot of people to strike in the post and delivery sectors. Look forward to that. I'll tell you right now, it's not a gaming chair, but it's not an office chair, but it's definitely not a Herman Miller, so don't get your hopes up. I could never afford anything like that in my dreams. That would be my office chair, wouldn't it? That, as a business expense, if you can class those as business expenses, frankly, I'm curious about that. If you earn enough, you probably can. Yeah, you just have to earn enough, true that. So let's get back to it, people. PC Master Race in the FB Marketplace, come on. So what do we got here? ThinkPad, $18.99 3060 gaming PC. So we saw a 3060 Ti gaming PC for $2100. This one looks clean, looks interesting. 140 Fury HyperX 16GB RAM kit, 2x8 gigabytes DDR3 1600 CL10. No, that should be about $80. So going on to what we've got lined up as well. Asus GeForce GTX 750 Ti GDRR5 2GB RAM. It's a 750 Ti graphics card. Okay, Asus small little biatch. I actually had one of those. I sold it for approximately the equivalent of $120 value. At the time, I felt revolted, frankly, but that's what they're going for, not $180, okay? So on a side note, if we then go to this one, Asus GTX 750 Ti OC 2GB DDR5, $100 in stock, grab it right now. It's a decent buy, if in fact it is what it is. I would grab it right now. Okay, and if you're talking down to 90, price is firm. So if you're talking down to 90 or so, you might get a better option on it. And on the other hand, you got a GTX 670 here, Gamewood GeForce 2GB graphics card, 120. So that's interesting. It actually doesn't look like a bad graphics card, frankly. Interesting. So you can see that's about the marketplace. That $100 price for them, it's ready to be sold. If you can get any of these for $80 or $90 like they should be, $70, $80, no more, then you're rolling. That's the right price. On the other hand, again, the sour note is, and the sour theme, which I don't want to stagnate on too much, is a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1650 Super. The guy wanted 500, now he wants 450 Australian dollars. It's 4 gigabyte, pickup or ship at buyer's expense. This guy's in the Mentone Braeside area. It's Amanda Nugent. Okay, now no offense to Amanda, I don't know. I need to know what sort of RAM this has on it. I believe it's only got GDDR5 RAM. If that's the case, you should not be selling it for that price, nowhere near that price. If we have a quick look, so we've got a 1650 OC model of GDDR6 revision 2.0, so revision 2.0 specific. So looking at that card there, we've got ourselves over here a Gigabyte 1650 guaranteed to be GDDR6. It's a revision 2. Okay, so this is Gigabyte GeForce for 450. It's in stock currently. You can get this new for $479, people. $479. So in between, no guarantees, no bullshit here. I don't know what she's playing at. I can pick this up tomorrow new for $29 more. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why it's outrageous, because these prices are ridiculous, and some of the prices aren't justified. They're a little too much, and she's trying to ask more to get less. And if she's doing that, we'll have a look at Amanda's things they do well, right? Pricing 6, item description, punctuality. Look at all the computer parts she's selling. She's selling it all. Why would you sell 16 gigabytes of Viper Steel? Are you planning on going 12th gen? Are you actually planning on going 12th gen? She's got an MSI B365M Pro MVH ATX. There's a CPU, i3-9300F, so it's a little weak. It'll run Windows 11 and everything. So as a secondary, it's too much. By the way, she's asking way too much for a board that's worth jack shit, and she wants about $280 for that chip. No fucking way. Okay, she's overpriced, and that shows. So moving on, we've got ourselves DDR3 RAM, 4 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes. I have a range of DDR3 RAM, 2x2 gigabyte, 4 gigabyte sticks, $20. So I've got 12 gigabytes of 2x2, and I was trying to sell it for 40. So by that, can post for an extra $10 on each one. So go figure. People are understating me, and it's really shitting me, because I've got a really good price for someone who can, for a legit builder who wants to provide a better product for their customers by not just giving them 16 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of memory, but filling it up with an extra 2 in each slot, in each channel. And yes, you can do that. You can have 10 and 10 in each channel, and it can work seamlessly and perfectly. But a lot of these flippers aren't even aware that this potential exists, because they're too LTT flockard sheep-like mofos. No offense to Linus, frankly, Linus G. Sebastian, because here at the FB Marketplace, in this space, we are attempting to also put down sometimes the PC race. My name is Sebluka Yol, so if you like what you're hearing, or at all this has helped, then please hit that like and or subscribe button as we continue on in the PC Master Race FB Marketplace episode 4. Come on, let's go. So next on the agenda, we've got ourselves a PC desktop i5 CPU. Notice how he's not mentioned anything else. The problem is, look at this picture, okay? Okay, I haven't seen the other pictures. In good working order, it has a crack on the case. See the photos. No RAM, no HDD, no power cable. Pick up Chelsea Heights. No power cable. So what? i5 CPU, but the i5 third generation 3470. You want to sell that for $50 by itself. Is that it? Crack on the case. See the photos. No RAM, no HDD, no power cable pickup. So the case and the motherboard and the CPU. But then if we go, this is from Dimitar Dimov, who somehow got 62 ratings. It's impossible to get ratings. And then you go suddenly to here, Dimitar Dimov. And look at the picture, guys. Gaming PC, desktop, i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 240 gigabyte SSD, $260. That's a bit odd because it's the same picture. But the back of that is pretty sure the back of that, isn't it? Identical. God, bro, I know your cable management area of maneuverability is minimal, but that's ridiculous. So can include a GTX 1080 for an extra $650. May need new Windows installed. Pick up Chelsea Heights. Yikes. See, he doesn't specify what i7 it is, and you have to work it out by looking at the motherboard and whatnot, if you can get in a closer look. So you can going in, get a closer look, and at closer inspection, GAH97M DJH, this is going to power a 4th or 5th gen Intel CPU. So as an i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 240 gigabyte SSD, it depends what else he's sort of showing off there. No graphics card. i7, so it's 4th gen 4790, non-K. Windows 10 Pro version. It's going to need a reinstall. See, he can chuck in a 1080 for an extra $650. I doubt the integrity of his 1080 or whatever he's got also. I just don't trust this fucking dude, frankly. Currently, to be really honest, he hasn't even got a slot available that's been clicked like he's ever had that 1080 in here. He's clearly a flipper. We can't hold that against him, but value for money, it's borderline. In this day and age, it is borderline without at least a graphics card that is of $50 or $60 value. You get me? You can just, any sort of placeholder is warranted in this sort of build for this price, and then maybe it would do. Okay. So people, I hope you're getting something out of this. This leads us into Mr. Grumpy mode, probably, because frankly, have a look at this. We've got ourselves a AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT, listed 10 hours ago in Melbourne, Victoria. 1 year of age, 1 year old, can post or pick up in Portland, no hold. Yeah, $1,200 for that? No. And I'll tell you why. Let's do the local shopping spree again and see if I can rummage up something for around that value, and we'll see what we got in stock that's not 1 year of age. How about them apples? And I've got multiple stores I can attack. I'm just going to one specifically, and I'm finding one item in stock that's available, and at each of these other stores there's one item or two of this stock available. Do you get my drift? So I don't understand what's going on. I'm going to take it up a notch. I'm going to see if I can. Okay, so this gentleman's asking $1,200 for an RX 5700 XT. That's 1 year of age. After about 3 minutes of scouring the area in a 5 to 10 kilometer radius, there is a local store I can pick up tomorrow, pay for today on the card or whatever it may be, and we can pick ourselves up the next best thing, which is a 6700 XT, 12 gigabyte. Refurbished at $1,149, but $1,249, $49 more, and we've gone up to the newer, greater Nexta RDNA version 2 Navi 21, I believe, or 22. So yeah, and to be honest, there's a couple of others there which are about $11.99. And so there you go, guys. Why would you buy used when you can buy new for that price and have a great great time with the warranty associated, and that was from a much more reputable dealer that when it comes to RMAing items as well, they're really good. They're actually fixing up my Corsair headphones. That's why I'm not wearing them. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do a follow-up on the Corsair headphones. The Virtuosa headphones, the cup came apart in a split. It wasn't natural wear and tear. Very annoying. And Corsair surprisingly is going to send a replacement, which they're going to get the store to install for me somehow. And it didn't look like they were replaceable, those slips. So I don't know what's going to happen, frankly. I don't know how that cup's going to sound. If it doesn't look in mint condition, I have to sort of say to him, look, my shit was in mint condition. You've given me something that's obsolete. Do you get me? It's not the replacement value that I asked. Where's my refund so I can buy a new one? / where's my refund so that I can get the next Corsair level up of the new version of the SEs, which is the XTs, I believe. So yeah, and the only reason I would go that is because providing that they don't stuff up again anytime soon, and there's still a 2-year warranty attached, and it's only wear and tear that degrades the leather, pleather, whatever it is, then the additional feature set on them is multiple source connections / you can have them connect to your phone while to your PC and to your other PC at the same time, and have input coming from all PCs, or either or neither or both, or do you get me? So that is a great feature, which I saw for the first time on a $160 headset. Now you have to spend about $400 for that feature. Next on the agenda, we've got ourselves a GeForce RTX 2060 850. Okay, this will be a 6GB card, brought yesterday, selling because not compatible. Brought for $909. Not compatible? What do you mean not compatible? Like, trust me, it's going to be compatible with everything he's got. What does that mean? He's a bit of a fool, but at the same time, he could have got it for about $799 if he was smart. That's how much I would have spent for a new $800. So he overpriced about $100. I don't know what's going on. It seems a bit shonky and a bit shifty to me, frankly. By the way, let's check out the stitching in that chair of his. That's bucket seat. So he's got a Game Eraser chair and everything. I'm curious whether it's Secret Labs. And no, it's not a Secret Labs chair I'm getting, or maybe it is. I don't know anymore. We'll see at the review in 2 to 4 weeks when I'm pissing and moaning about putting the bloody thing together, and hopefully it's sturdy as, because I've already read some reviews where people say they've stuffed the thread up and the thread's stuffed for life and it's never stable after the fact. So yeah, that'll be an interesting thing. I'm going to be very meticulous, which means a lot of the times the best things I ever do, they're not on camera because of the meticulous nature of not being able to replace that item at the time, and I don't want to make any mistakes. And sometimes it's almost, I feel like, a bad omen putting it on camera. But imparting this knowledge to you all, I'm hoping you get something out of it so that at least the mistakes aren't as costly to you. So let's continue on. So we got ourselves a gaming CPU, RAM, and Noctua CPU fan. Is that the cooler? If it's a cooler, 250 instead of 400, perhaps we might go there. i7 3rd generation 3820. Yeah, I do that. You never know, for the right price. At 250, Corsair Vengeance DDR3 4x4 gigabytes, $100. So that's separate. CPU can overclock to 4 gigahertz. So from memory, I believe 4 gigahertz is overzealous. I believe the max turbo frequency on these is 3.8, and they are a non-K variety, so they are locked, and there's no way you are ouncing out more than that, frankly, so that is a lie. Motherboard $60 sold. Noctua CPU fan $50. I don't know what that means. Hopefully, oh, really? No, that Noctua fan isn't, is that an 80mm? You can get these for like, they're the cheapest fans available. Like, I don't know what this guy's playing at. Doesn't make sense unless it's connected to a cooler as well. So that's odd. I don't know about this guy, frankly. Naveen Anthony joined Facebook in 2020, has 19 friends. We're going to see some of his other items he's selling. A subwoofer and 2 amplifiers, 300. Marketplace 4 listings. No group pages. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit pricey on my end. Just some of the stuff, the way he's got it priced out, it doesn't seem to make sense. So he should revisit the way he's selling these items. He might sell the rest of them a lot quicker, frankly. But that leads us into a 9th gen Intel gaming PC with 3 peripherals. 9th gen is no slouch, people. So depending on the version of 9th gen, for $800 with 3 peripherals that look clean without the sprog dust all over them. We'll have a closer look at the assessment. Deep cool, nothing special. That's a $30-$40 case. Frankly, to be honest, seriously is. But peripheral wise, we've got a 1050 Ti that I can see inside it. We're going to have a closer look and verify that. It's an MSI GTX 1050 Ti. I can see that from here. 4GB. So in this current market, that's $400. Ridiculous. So second hand, we save $300. $275 we do on a system package. Maximum $275 with an Intel i3 9100F. It's the lowest of the low, 4 core, 4 threads. $275, $375. Say we just gave him a benefit down and chucked in $475, dropped it to $450. Okay. Then you got the board. The board's not even worth $100. So say we give him the benefit down and say it's $70, $450, $520. 128GB SSD established that you can get them for $20 or less. $520, $540. 1 TB Western Digital, $540, $570. 550 watt power supply Corsair, $570, $600, $610, $630, $650. 3 keyboard and mouse included with sale. Monitor as well. Okay. $630, $650 without the peripherals. $600 you want to talk him to for this system without the peripherals. Frankly, $599 would be a nice figure, and you could get rid of that peripheral junk. Otherwise, yeah, $800 you're paying for those peripherals, and you're paying a premium price. I'm curious about the monitor though. Let's have a look at the monitor. He doesn't picture the monitor. Yeah, guys, $1,200 was overzealous, but look, it doesn't even mention that it's got an operating system. This guy's in Craigieburn. I debate. Like I said, I just priced it up for you all. That leads us to a Windows 11 desktop PC computer, $550. So it's already saying something about this computer if it can run Windows 11. We know it is of at least 8th gen or newer, depending on, unless it's an AMD processor. Intel G 9390 CPU processor, Asus H270 Plus motherboard, Hyper 8GB DDR4 RAM, Intel SSD 120GB, M2 NVMe, 550 watt power supply, NZXT white PC casing, Windows 11 Pro, pickup available in Clayton for $550. You notice it's got no intake fans for cooling, surprisingly. It's something to consider. It's seriously got it hasn't got one intake fan. So get him to chuck in an intake fan. If he's a system builder, ask him what's going on there. It's got a 1GB SSD, so I'd probably say $499, maybe a little less. It hasn't got much RAM. Depending on the speed could be base 2400. So you start looking at costs of what this is and whatnot. Again, it's probably talking down $100. If you get it closer to the 4 mark, you're rolling, and then you got something to work off. Okay, and that leads us into what is essentially PC parts for $0, listed 2 weeks ago, and was in Melbourne, Victoria. Dingley Village, just around the corner. TRSO, he's got it all spaced out, $0 parts. He's got everyone. He hasn't mentioned if he sold any of them. That's going to be annoying because it's been out for 2 weeks. i3 10 105F 120 new. 2 4GB RAM modules, $80 new. No. 700 watt PSU, $100. I mean, $80. No, not that one. I'm already seeing red flags. Case $60. He hasn't shown anything else on the case. How do I know what's $60? He hasn't even got an SSD holder for the case. Do you get me? Case, motherboard, $50. And he's not selling the SSD. And it's got no R7 260X GPU, $100. That's about the only thing that's going right in that way. It's got 2 gigabytes of GDR5 memory in it, but it's probably a low-end version of the card, which you wouldn't want to get in a package deal. If you're coupling items, you want to get it for at least $90, not the $100. Apart from that, it's sort of a debate. Some of these prices, the i3 10105 is $120. It's new enough. They're okay. It launched for the recommended retail price of $97, or roughly thereabouts USD. On the conversion rate, that's $120 Australian. So he's asking new prices for the item in per se. But it has 4 cores and 8 threads and has a max turbo frequency of 4.4 gigahertz. So depending on the price of them in the market today, which I'll try to assess for you all, within the click of a fingers, we shall be back and knowledged up with if they're in stock currently and how much they cost around the area, especially around his area, which is my area. Like I said, a click of the fingers and we're back, and we have a look at another store that's in the vicinity of the area. Low stock, but in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stores. It's online, $125. Why would you get his new one, which is installed, when you can get one straight from the shop that has a virgin packaging involved and whatnot? Oh, I said virgin. That's going to red flag me. I wonder if it will. Maybe it will get me more views. And on a side note, if you're enjoying this virginness, warming up to season 1, episode 4, trying to get back into PC Master Race, FB Marketplace, episode 4, people, then hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, get more tech related goodness at the Techness Corner with your host. My name is Sebluka, and for all the likes and subscribes and all comments below, any questions, just ask, yo. I am grateful and appreciative of. Let's continue on for one last stint and hurrah in this FB Marketplace space. So like I said, that's a no, that's a no, that's a no. It's all no, 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 no. What the hell's going on? One last stint. We're just going to let it scroll down until it hits the jackpot. And what did it find us? A kid's telescope, guys. It's not necessarily electronics, but it's $30. If it's got everything, then your voyeuristic tendencies are set if you're in the South Melbourne area in the apartment blocks. Otherwise, you know what? It's probably better than a GPU, frankly. And for $30, it costs half the amount of a 1 gigabyte that will just get a monitor running in this day and age. So, guys, I apologize for the uneventful episode. Just trying to get back into it. This is episode 4. Otherwise, check out my other unboxings, reviews, build guides, and all more of PC Master Race in the FB Marketplace, or unveiling the real tech news and reviews, a series I started, which, like I mentioned before, Greg Salazar is part of one of those episodes where we tackle what is essentially the dismay of the marketplace today, and people trying to flog off those $450, $500, $1650 GDR5s when I'm finding you stuff in stock today in the area, available. If you need to buy it and you don't know where to shop, ask me to find it for you and let me install it in your computer for you for free. You know what I mean? And I'll make a video of it. I just can't afford to pick them up and have them in stock myself because of the off chance that for some reason they don't sell. Do you get me? I need upfront and someone ready to go, and that's unfortunate the predicament I'm in, but that's just it. So cross our fingers something works out for y'all, and in the meantime, thank you for your support. It's been truly noted. I appreciate all the new subscriptions this month. We've had 3 or 4 more, and if we get another 3 or 4 more, that'll be a record for the month and the Techness Corner, which has had a massive change over the period of the last 6 to 12 months, frankly. Just have a look at that intro video that's associated with how many revisions and name changes we've gone through. I want it to be a community, guys. OPPC is great. Optimum Performance PC is what I live by and breathe, but I don't want it to be subjected in a fashion and a light like it seemed to be conceived, that I was insinuating that I'm optimal in some way, when it's what we're trying to get out of what we have available to us, y'all. So take that as a grain of salt or not, it's up to you. My name is ゚Tech. This has been a Techness Corner production. In the PC Master Race, FE Marketplace, episode 4 has concluded, so peace out, y'all.